Good afternoon, everyone. This is Michael O'Malley here with the Hurricane Outlook and discussion for September 20th, 2019, recorded around 3:06 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hurricane Jerry has continued to rapidly weaken today with maximum sustained winds now of 80 miles per hour. Last night it was 105 miles per hour, and that has continued to weaken throughout the day today as it has moved into a less favorable environment. And this is expected to continue to weaken here over the next several days, becoming a tropical storm here by tomorrow evening. This is expected to weaken down into a tropical storm. And then how much intensification in the long term is going to be the real question here, along with the track here. The GFS ensembles, which we'll show here in a little bit, have done some interesting things in terms of the track right now. We do have tropical storm watches for portions of the northern Leeward Islands here because there are rain bands from this disorganized hurricane that are impacting some of the islands and will be impacting more of the island chain throughout the night today and during the day tomorrow. That will bring tropical storm force gusts here. You can see the latest recon pass that was in there from earlier this afternoon did indicate that the pressures were rising still pretty substantially, and we've continued to probably see that pressure rise continue here. We've only seen maximum winds here about 75 knots or so, flight levels, so likely just a minimal hurricane at this point in time with continued weakening expected here over the next few days. But there is some question to that. And what I mean by that is we've started to see maybe some attempts here of an inner core trying to rebuild itself. And you can see a pretty potent deep convective burst here that fired sort of on the northwestern side of that center early. And we go to the visible shot here for the long time. You can definitely see that we've had more convection fire around the center here, but we've not been able to really sustain many convective bursts in this region. There's a ton of dry air, and you can sort of see that within these cells that are further out towards the east here. You notice how these clouds are really not, these are sort of sheared apart too, and they're not conglomerate into an actual developing tower or anything. That lets you know that there's pretty dry air that is associated with the overall energy that is being sucked into Hurricane Jerry. So while that is the case, there is still some deeper convection. If we go to the short-term IR here, you can definitely see that we've seen more in the way of these hot towers and nice convective bursts that have continued to form around Jerry, but we're still not seeing any significant development here in terms of an actual core becoming well established and better organized here. That being said, there is a little bit of outflow on the southern side, but there is still a lot of shear being infringed on the system, and that is really limiting the overall development of the storms today. We've definitely seen a lot of that shear, and the center of circulation is somewhere within about here, I would assume. So there is sort of a lot here to go on. You can see here the short-term visible satellite imagery here. You can definitely see that you can still overall see that swirl, meaning there is not a lot of convection here sort of on this northwestern side. Mainly all the convection here is over here, and then once again over in this region, kind of buckling between the two here. This is the overall energy associated with Hurricane Jerry. So some of the northern Leeward Islands could see some tropical storm force gusts as this continues to kind of scoot on by here over the next couple of days. We're talking about the GFS and the ensemble group, and this is from tropicaltidbits.com, as well as the visible imagery was in the satellite imagery. But you can definitely see that we've had a couple of members sort of bend back towards the west today, and this is certainly interesting development here that we've started to see within the GFS. The latest GFS here sort of going like this in the operational run that we've seen not really be a well-determined outcome here. Most of the members are still out to sea near Bermuda, intensifying near Bermuda, but some members have definitely shifted further to the west today, so we'll have to see. Let's actually go to see if the 18Z guidance is up right now. Let me just pull this up real quickly. I do not believe it was up, and it's not up yet. No, it is not. So we've definitely seen a little bit of an interesting track in terms of the western envelope here within the GEFS ensemble group. but most of them still have it nearing Bermuda and strengthening once it gets into this region across here. Well, for our friends here in the Turks and Caicos, we'll certainly have to continue to monitor that. We are also watching a slew of other tropical systems here. This right now is recently designated Invest 99L, which has a 40% chance now of development over the next 5 days. As this approaches the Lesser Antilles here, Barbados, Trinidad, Tobago, Grenada, those regions could see a tropical disturbance here, and some of the modeling today has suggested that this will continue to develop here over the next couple of days, and we'll show the visible satellite for that here in just a minute. We also have this tropical disturbance with only a 10% chance over the next 5 days, pretty unorganized, as there's a lot of upper level shear that is kind of cutting across the system. That's the same shear that is impacting Hurricane Jerry. And in this one, which will soon be Invest 90L, has a 70% chance over the next 5 days. This will likely become Karen and move westward here over the next couple of days before maybe turning an option out to sea. This is Invest 99L, certainly becoming a little bit better organized, and certainly does seem like there might be a little bit of rotation certainly near that area of deeper convection. So something to continue to watch here, as increase in organization and convection could lead to this becoming classified as a tropical depression here. So, but there is sort of some of that drier air, and you can sort of see within that outflow that is pushing out from that. That is definitely a sign of dry air with that signature. So certainly still some dry air kind of infringing on the system, but we've seen an overall increase in the organization today, so a lot to watch there. A lot to watch over here with the coming days with Hurricane Jerry likely turning out to sea here, getting close to Bermuda. So for folks here in Bermuda, we'll have to continue to monitor that. We are also watching Invest 99L, which will impact some of the Lesser Antilles by later this weekend or next week, and a tropical depression could form during the next couple of days. So that's going to be it for me today. I will have another video discussion out by about 9 o'clock this evening, and that is going to be it for me for right now. Hope you all have a great rest of your afternoon and evening, and I will see you around 9 o'clock.